Well, it doesn't look like Radha Pramod Prabhu is there. I don't see his name here. Is he there? Yeah, I don't think he's there. So I think we probably don't have the second session then. So I think we will just pause it here then. Because I don't see him. Uh, Maybe he has some internet issues, or maybe he's traveling. But oh yeah, he has joined. He has joined. Yeah, just hold on. He has joined. He has joined.
हरे कृष्ण मम ज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं तस्मै श्रीगुरवे हरे कृष्ण. So we will see what Prabhupada has to points. This is very nice points because we discussed yesterday that after hearing from Acharyas, our appreciation for Prabhupada increases because he has given something essence of all the Acharyas, and our attachment to Prabhupada should increase because of this. And here you can see very nice points. We'll just read this translation. The goddess of fortune Lakshmi, the dust of whose foot is worn on the head by others, wait upon you as appointed, for she is anxious to secure a place in the abode of the kings of bees who hover on the fresh wreath of tulsi leaves offered at your feet by blessed devotees. Prabhupada writes, as previously described, Tulsi has attained all superior qualities due to being placed at the lotus feet of the Lord. The comparison made here is very nice. As the king of bees hovers over the Tulsi leaves offered to the lotus feet of the Lord, so Lakshmi, the goddess, who is sought by the demigods, Brahmanas, Vaishnavas, and everyone else, always engages in rendering service to the lotus feet of the Lord. The conclusion is that no one can be benefactor of Lord. Everyone is actually the servant of Lord. So this is everybody is servant of the Lord. This is a very important understanding. Everybody is engaging in giving pleasure to the Lord. So even the gopis, whatever they are doing, in terms of conjugal relationship, friends of Krishna, everybody want to give pleasure to the Lord. And this is the most important thing. And Lord is also want to give pleasure, but He is an enjoyer, and we are by giving Him pleasure, we become happy. Like a father only can enjoy the mother, the son cannot enjoy. He's not supposed to enjoy. That is how the rule is. So here in this material world, this material nature is like mother, and the living entities are trying to enjoy. They are making a mistake. That's why there is a problem. But if you know, oh, I cannot enjoy, it's Krishna who enjoys this world. So anytime we get anything in front of us, immediately we should be conscious, oh, this is Krishna should enjoy this. This food which we offer to Krishna, and then we take it. So we don't enjoy prasadam, we honor prasadam. So everything is like that. That state when we develop, it becomes very easy. Otherwise, it's so tough. And here we see that the four Kumaras now they are trying to change their state of consciousness, which is very difficult in normal ways because of the presence of Lord, because they are in Vaikunta. Immediately they could come to that conclusions, which is difficult otherwise. And now they are giving very, very important conclusions. What should be the state? What should be the qualification to enter into Vaikunta? This is already you are extremely attached to the activities of your pure devotees, yet you are never attached to the goddess of fortune, constantly engage in your transcendental loving service. How can you be purified, therefore, by the dust of the path traversed by the Brahmanas, and how can you be glorified or made fortune by the marks of Srivats on your chest? That means, Lord, we'll see what Prabhupada has to say in this. Prabhupada has some nice things. Prabhupada said, it is said in Brahma Samhita, the Lord is always served by many thousands of, hundreds of thousands of goddess of fortune in his Vaikuntha planet. Yet, because of his attitude of renunciation of all opulences, he is not attached to any of them. That is the important point. Because Lord is interested in what? Lord is interested in his devotees. Of course, goddess of fortune, she is also doing loving service. She is also devotee. He is interested in as a devotee, but not in the opulences. The Lord has 6 opulences. All the demigods and the living entities worship Lakshmi, the goddess of fortune, just to get her favor. Yet the Lord is never attached to her because he can create an unlimited number of goddesses for his transcendental service. The goddess of fortune, Lakshmi, is sometimes envious of tulsi leaves, which are placed at the lotus feet of Lord, for they remain fixed there and do not move. Whereas Lakshmi ji, although stationed by the chest of the Lord, sometimes has to please other devotees who pray to her favor. Lakshmi ji has to go to satisfy her numerous devotees. But Tulsi lives never forsake their position, and the Lord therefore appreciates the service of the Tulsi more than the service of Lakshmi ji. And the point here is the Lord is not very much interested in all these things because there is nothing to show off. That is also another, like in this world, we are interested in opulence because we have to show to somebody that I am great. For Lord, there is nobody to show because he knows he already is great. For me, because I am not great, I have to prove it. I have to prove in terms of my strength, abilities, knowledge, talent, and so many other things. I have to prove myself that I am something special. I am the Ishvara, I am the Lord. People should worship me. The people, they do very grand celebrations and they create some big empire or some big business empire or anything. So the main motive for them is to show off. Yeah, here Prabhupada is telling about Tulsi. She does not forsake their position, and therefore she is always at the lotus feet of the Lord and she is rendering that service to the Lord. But Lakshmi Devi, she sometimes goes here and there because she is there, so she can go around in Vaikuntha and she goes to please some of her devotees also. But Tulsi, she just at the lotus feet of Lord does not live. In that way, she is doing. Lord is more pleased with Tulsi than Lakshmi also. In that, of course, here it's relative in that way. Lakshmi is also the greatest of devotees. There is no doubt. But here, this is Prabhupada is trying to explain, make us the point that how Lord is more attached to the devotees than even goddess of fortune also. Why Prabhupada gives reasons? 2 reasons. One is he can create any number of goddess of fortune, and goddess of fortune moves here and there, whereas Tulsi and devotees they're always with him. So that is the point. And more important is why Lord is not interested in opulences because he don't have to show off anything. He don't have anybody to he knows that there is nobody asamurtva, there is nobody equal to or superior to the Lord. So where is there? So he is just happy being with his devotees. He's so big and all are very, very small living entities. So he is happy with them. But in this material world, we are so much attracted to opulence because we want to show to others that I am really big, I am Ishvara. If in the class, if I got a prize among all my classmates, immediately there is some sort of Ishvara bhav. See, I am superior to all of them. So that's why we want that opulence. I should be famous in my class. I should be famous among the colleagues. I should be rich among the people who are there around. I should be more intelligent. I should be strong. So all these opulences are there, which are very alluring in this. Lord is quite renounced. He said, what do I do with that? So he's not so much with these things. And the Lord is not dependent on universe mercy for his opulence. He's always self-sufficient. That is also another thing. Nothing is incomplete in his heart. The Lord's statement that his opulence is due to the benediction of the Brahmanas and Vaishnavas is only to teach others that they should offer respect to Brahmanas and Vaishnavas, the devotees of the Lord. So that is what is the point made. And then the Kumara says, O Lord, you are the personification of all religion. Therefore, you manifest yourself in 3 millenniums, and thus you protect this universe which consists of animate and inanimate beings. By your grace, which is of pure goodness and is the bestower of all blessings, kindly drive away the elements of Rajas and Tamas for the sake of demigods and twice born. So here mm, the Kumaras, they are telling that you are manifesting yourself in 3 millenniums, and thus you protect this universe which is animated by your grace, which is pure goodness and which is bestower of all blessings. And now Prabhupada is giving a big purport here. He says the Lord is addressed in this verse as Triyugi, or one who appears in 3 millenniums, Satya, Dwapara, and Treta. He is not mentioned as appeared in the 4th millennium, that is Kali Yuga. It is described in Vedic literature that in Kali Yuga he comes as Channavatar, as an incarnation, but he does not appear as a manifest incarnation. In other yugas, however, the Lord is manifest incarnation, therefore he is addressed as Triyugi, the Lord who appears in 3 yugas. That is clear. Now, Prabhupada gives another explanation from Sridhar Swami, describes 3 yuga as follows. Yuga means couple, and 3 means 3. The Lord is manifest as 3 couples with 6 opulences or 6 couples of opulences. So this, even Vishwanath Chakravarti also is mentioning this. And he says the 4 Kumaras were cognizant of their situation, mode of passion and ignorance, because although in Vaikuntha they wanted to curse devotees of the Lord, since they were conscious of their own weakness, they prayed to the Lord to remove all their still existing passion and ignorance. So this is nice point. They want to curse because that is affecting them. The modes are affecting them, and the conditions are affecting them. Of course, they're quite elevated. There is no chance. Very, very slight traces, because of which they got affected. And Lord utilized there to do his leela also. The 3 transcendental qualities, cleanness, austerity, mercy, are qualification of twice born and the demigods. Those who are not situated in quality of goodness cannot accept these principles of spiritual culture. Now, these qualities we discussed yesterday also. If you follow goodness, quality of mode of goodness, then our dharma will increase. And if you follow dharma, goodness will increase. So all these demigods, twice born, they follow dharma. Then the quality of goodness increase. More your quality of increase, that means even a slightest difference also will make so much irritating. Arey, how can I do this? How can I cheat? How can I lie? We cannot lie and cheat once we come to mode of goodness. It's not possible. Even if it is so much profitable, like say you are going and you get some money on the road, and it is so much profitable, big money, but a person in goodness, he will not be interested. He said, okay, let me give in the temple. He will not take it for himself because it's not possible for him. He want to follow dharma, and he will hold on to dharma more tightly than normal people. We know because any activity we are doing, and what happens is people respect them for their qualities, and it inspires them to follow more. Why a Brahmana? Because of his quality only. People say, okay, previously the kings or some merchants or somebody, if they have to travel, and they used to keep their daughters with Brahmanas and go. Young daughters in the house of Brahmanas, so you stay here. Because they know they are very safe in the house of Brahmanas. They will be, there will be no problem for them. The Brahmanas are having such a quality, there is no chance that they will do any mischief. That much qualities they had, that trust they had on Brahmanas, because they also lived like that. And Brahmana curses or speaks or say something, They know it is going to happen, so they are very careful. And Brahmanas also, because they get that respect and all, they maintain that purity. So it happens like that. For Krishna conscious movement, therefore, there are three sinful activities which are prohibited, namely illicit sex, intoxication, eating food other than the prasad offered to Krishna. These are three prohibitions are based on the principles of austerity, cleanness, and mercy. Devotees are merciful because they spare the poor animals, and they are clean because they are free of contamination from unwanted foodstuffs and unwanted habits. Austerity is represented by restricted sex life. These principles, indicate by the prayers of four Kumaras, should be followed by devotees who are engaged in Krishna consciousness. So what happens is we have to keep our mind calm. Mode of goodness means calm mind. But any of other activities, any of these activities which are mentioned here, which will agitate the mind. Even the scientists, they have done the research, there are alpha, beta, gamma rays which are there in our brain. What happens is they agitate, they disturb the mind, and people think I am enjoying non-veg, I am enjoying movie, I am enjoying all these illicit activities and all, but they are not enjoying, they are just agitating their mind, and that agitation, and once the mind is agitated and they become calm, they feel it is the pleasure, or there is a dopamine effect, which we have discussed some other time. It's a dopamine effect. So people, it's a scientific way, but in Shastra it is clear. It is Satoguna, Rajoguna, and Tamoguna. So the tastes are in Tamoguna and Rajoguna, which will not help us to anyway come closer to understanding the reality of this world. That's the reason we have to keep our mind calm. Say if a person is very disturbed, he cannot be peaceful. Ashantasya kutasukam. Like I have to write my board exam just after 1 hour. Mind is quite tensed. And then within 1 hour, the results are coming of my exams, which I studied for 1 year. That also gives so much agitation in mind. It cannot be peaceful. This is like so much anxiety, tension comes before the results come. Why? This is because of mode of passion. But a person in goodness is quite peaceful. Now, after our exams are over, the children's exams are there, and that creates more tension. That means the whole life goes in anxiety and tension because of mode of passion and ignorance. But if a person comes from mode of goodness, he experiences a great amount of happiness, which is not accessible to people presently. Not so much accessible. Very few people they are trying to get some goodness, but otherwise, most of the people, because the success is also passion only, na. Because people in passion, the definition of success in mode of passion is how much money we made, how much property we made, how much influence we have, how many medals we got, what trophies we got, and how much followers I have. This is the success for mode of passion. And because everybody is in passion, that's why this is what is happening in this world presently. But if we come to mode of goodness, then the success definition changes. Then you no more consider success is how much we have. The success is how much our mind and senses are controlled, how much I am able to realize the absolute, how much a person is peaceful in the trying situations. So that is actually counted as success. Now, for us, success is this Prabhuji, he is able to chant whole day Hare Krishna. You don't have any distractions. Whole day you can sit and read, whole day you can sit and hear, whole day you can sit and chant. So that means that is success. So our definition of success, at the end of life, he just chanted, and while chanting only left the body. And other people say how much he has acquired property, how much name, fame, does not matter only at the time of, we count in a different way because our definition of success would change. We should not externally see, Array is devotee and he's making so much money, this, that. We should not feel enamored by the glitterings of word of passion. We should not take them seriously. We should take the devotee's achievement seriously. Of course, previously it was mode of goodness. Previously, who are given most respect? The Brahmanas are given respect. And Brahmanas not very rich. Brahmanas, which is their austerity and their knowledge. And that is what is taken as heroism, or that is, they are the icons of the society that time. And Krishna is appreciating these are the icons. If you make them as icons, like even at the time of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, why did Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu come as a Brahmana and a scholar? Because that is what is appreciated at that time. People appreciated scholars. So Lord said, okay, I'll be the best scholar, I'll be the best now. And then people got attracted to him, and then he made them into devotees. And Radhanand Maharaj says, if Lord Chaitanya has to come this time, then he will come as a cricketer because he will be most influential. He can attract more and more people. That time, because that time society was quite, still it was in goodness to some extent. That's why people appreciated people who has knowledge. If I ask, how many of you know the name of a person who got the Nobel Prize for last 2 3 years? Especially in chemistry, physics, and all, mathematics. Hardly people will remember the names because now Nobel Prize, I said, okay, somebody got. It is some academic scholars only they will remember, but they are not so famous. Who are famous now? Who are in more passion, they are famous because the definition of success changed because the whole society is into passion like that. And so the Kumaras are praying, okay, we should come out of it. And they say, oh Lord, you are the protector of the highest of the twice born. If you do not protect them by offering worship and mild words, then certainly the auspicious path of worship will be rejected by people in general who act on the strength of authority of your lordship. So Lord is protecting the Brahmanas by, because they are protecting the society. They are giving right direction. They are setting example. The most important thing for the Brahmanas we discussed is they are taking responsibility of their life. That is the greatest thing. They are trying to not just enjoy left, right, center whimsically. They are taking responsibility of their life, which is the very big thing. And then it serves the purpose of Lord's creation. Lord want living entities to understand what is the purpose, and then come back to God. But living entities are just so much into all these material illusions. They are no way coming out. So somebody is taking responsibility and giving up these temporary pleasures and trying to search for the truth. Lord will definitely be pleased because they are trying to serve the purpose. And here Prabhupada is writing a very big purport here. He says that in the Bhagavad Gita it is stated by the Lord himself that the acts on the characters of great authorities are followed by people in general. Leaders of ideal character therefore need in society. So they are following like that. It makes people in general happy also. Krishna's Supreme Personality God appear in the material world just to show example of perfect authority, and people have to follow this path. So even Krishna is coming to show that. The Vedic injunction is that one cannot understand absolute truth simply by mental speculation, logical argument. One has to follow the authority. Mahajanoyena gatasya panta. Dharmasya tattvam nihitam guhaya mahajanoyena gatasya panta. It is actually so, nihitam guhaya means a cave or in a very secret. That means the heart of these Mahajans. Great authority should be followed. Otherwise, if we simply depend on scriptures, we are sometimes misled by rascals, or else we cannot understand or follow the different scriptural injunctions. So that is the problem. Why we need a guru and mahajans? Because so many instructions and so many things are given, which we don't know for whom it is given. What is the time, place, circumstances, who is qualified for it? It cannot be understood without the help of the great Vaishnavas. The best path is to follow the authorities. No, that's what the Kumara is saying. And he says that Krishna, he protects cows, Brahmanas, and he set practical example how he protected. And it is also affirmed herein that Brahmanas are the best of the twice born. Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishyas are all twice born. Everybody get the right ceremony and all, but Brahmanas are best. When there is a fight between two persons, each of them protect the upper part of the body, the head, the arms, and belly. Similarly, similarly for the actual advancement of human civilization, the best part of social body, namely the Brahmanas, the Kshatriyas, and Vaishyas, should be given special protection. Protection of the labor should not be neglected, but special protection should be given to the upper order. So this is the And Prabhupada said, this is not exactly protection, it is a duty. One should worship the Brahmanas and Vaishnavas by offering all kinds of endowments and sweets. And if one has no means to offer anything, he must at least use sweet words to pacify them. The Lord personally exhibits this behavior towards the Kumaras. We should regularly feed Vaishnavas. That is very, very important for us. If the system is not introduced by the leader, then the human civilization will be lost. And that's actually what is happening now. Of course, still there is some respect for at least the caste brahmanas, and some respect is there for in some countries like Uzbekistan and all. Even even they also have respect for elders. Even though they disagree, they respectfully speak to the elders. So some of these countries they still have this respect for elders, and even in India also many parts will see that there is good respect for elders, but it is slowly coming down. They were having respect for teachers. Now teachers they are not having much respect, and there is no protection and special treatment for persons who are devotees of the Lord, who are highly intelligent spiritual life, then the whole society is lost. So here, this is the point Prabhupada is telling. There should be protection and special treatment for whom? Who are devotees of the Lord, who are highly intelligent. So because they are setting example. The word Nanakshati indicates that such a civilization becomes spoiled and annihilated. The kind of civilization recommended is called Devapata, which means the royal road of the demigods. Demigods are supposed to be fully fixed in devotional service or Krishna consciousness. That is auspicious path that should be protected. If the authorities or leaders of society do not give special respect to the Brahmanas and Vaishnavas and do not offer them not only sweet words but all facilities, then the path of progress will be lost to human civilization. So Lord want to personally teach them. And he says that, dear Lord, so Kumara is continuing, you never want the auspicious path to be destroyed. For you are the reservoir of all good qualities. Just to benefit people in general, you destroy the evil elements by your mighty potency. You are the proprietor of three creations and the maintainer of the entire universe. Therefore, your potency is not reduced by your submissive behavior. Rather, your submission, you exhibited your transcendental pastimes. So here Lord, He is setting an example and He is making sure that the evil is destroyed and there is a protection for the good people. This is you destroy the evil element by your mighty potency. You are the proprietor of three creations and your potency is not reduced. So, well, by Lord speaking in a humble way and asking forgiveness will not make any difference to the Lord. So he is being a chariot driver of Arjuna. It does not reduce any potency of Krishna. He could show the universal form. Even in the chariot, as a chariot driver, he showed his universal form. So where is the question of Krishna's potency reducing by submission or something? He still remains the Supreme Lord. Mother Yashoda is trying Krishna, trying to try Krishna, but and he submitted, but he could show the universal form in his mouth and do all the things. So Prabhupada writing, Lord Krishna has never reduced in his position by becoming the cowherd boy or by offering respect to Sudama Brahman or his devotees like Nanda Maharaj, Vasudev Maharaj, Yudhishthir, and the Pandavas, Mother Kunti. Everybody knows that he is Supreme Personality of God Krishna, yet his behavior was exemplary. So even though he is behaving like mm, by submitting to them, he's still the Supreme Lord. The personality of God, it is Satchidananda Vigraha. His form is completely spiritual, full of bliss and knowledge, and yes, it is eternal. Because the living entities are part and parcels, originally they also belong to the same quality of eternal form of Lord. But when they come in contact with Maya, the material potency, due to their forgetfulness, their existential constitution is covered. We should try to understand the appearance of Lord Krishna in this spirit as the Kumaras pray to him. The Lord, it does not reduce. Say now in this material world, if a big person he he is just going and submitting to somebody, people will not value him anymore. Array, he is just he goes to some poor people's house. His friends are like this. He's sometimes driving a car for some of his friend, and then their value is reduced. And sometimes they just do as a as a what do you say, as a publicity. That is a different thing. But if he is doing regular, then people don't value. They say, okay. But it is not true for Lord. Whatever he is doing some simple normal things also. He still remains the Supreme Lord. So that is the thing there. He is eternally a cowherd boy at Vrindavan. He is eternally the leader of battle of Kurukshetra and is eternally the opulent prince of Dwarka and the lover of damsels of Vrindavan. All his appearances are meaningful because they show his real character to the conditioned souls who have forgotten their relationship with the Supreme Lord. He does everything for their benefit. The force exhibited in the battle of Kurukshetra by the desire of Krishna and through the agency of Arjuna was also necessary because when people become too irreligious, force is required. Non-violence is, in this respect, is rascaldom. Prabhupada says non-violence is rascaldom. So, you see, the Lord, whatever punishment you wish to avoid to these two innocent persons, are also to us, we shall accept without duplicity. We understand that we have cursed two faultless persons. So at last their heart completely changed. And then they came to conclusion, yes, my dear Lord, we did a mistake. We got affected by passionate ignorance. But now we take back. We say, okay, whatever you want, and you can punish us. We are ready. Without any duplicity, we are ready to accept. And Prabhupada writes nice point. He says that the four Kumaras now reject their cursing of two doorkeepers, Jai Vijay, because they are now conscious that persons who engage in the service of Lord cannot be at fault at any stage because they don't have any other personal agendas and motives. They just want to please the Lord. So sometimes what happens, there can be misunderstanding, but their intention is always please the Lord. So in that way, they are never wrong. I want to give rose and somebody want to give jasmine and somebody want to give some other flower. There can be some disagreement, but all three are right. I say no, Lord will like rose. Somebody say, every day he's taking rose. Why don't we give some other variety of jasmine? Somebody says, this is not the season. Some other flower we give, we give chevanti. So now there will be argument, there will be differences, but all three are intended to please the Lord. So they don't have any ulterior motives. That's why there cannot be any fault. They say, why he is giving this every day? He says, oh, Lord likes. He says, you should give variety. So that is the point. Like say, if the spiritual master is coming, to the house of some dude, he says, okay, I'll cook whatever is favorite to the master. I'll give so and so items. Somebody says, every time Maharaj, wherever he goes, everybody gives the same items because they all think he likes it. Why don't we give variety? So there will be difference, but both intentions. So here, that's what uh, they say, because they are now conscious that persons who engage in service of Lord cannot be fault at any stage. That it is said that anyone who has implicit faith in the service of the Lord and who actually engage in transcendental loving service of Lord have all good qualities of the demigods. Therefore, a devotee cannot be at fault. If sometimes it is found that he is in error by accident or by some temporary arrangements, that should not be taken very seriously. So, Mamcho, he says that no, Chipram Bhavati Dharma Sasya Shanti. So we should not see the fault. The cursing of Jai Vijay in is here repented. Now the Kumaras are thinking in terms of position, mode of passion, ignorance, and they are prepared to accept any kind of punishment from the Lord. In general, when dealing with devotees, we should not try to find faults. In Bhagavad Gita also it is confirmed that the devotees who faithfully serve the Supreme Lord, even if found to commit a gross mistake, should be considered a sadhu, a saintly person. Due to former habit, he may commit some wrong, but because he is engaged in service of Lord, that wrong should not be taken very seriously. And then today's verse, we are going too much parallel with first session and second session. We'll just take this. The Lord replied, O Brahmana, know that the punishment you inflicted on them are originally ordained by me, and therefore they will fall to a birth in a demonic family, but they will be firmly united with me in thought through mental concentration intensified by anger, and they will return to my presence shortly. And we'll see what Prabhupada says. The Lord's statement that the punishment inflicted by the sages on the doorkeeper Jaya was conceived by the Lord himself. Without the Lord's sanction, nothing can happen. It is to be understood that there is a plan and cursing of the Lord's devotee in Vaikuntha, and this plan is explained by many stalwart authorities. The Lord sometimes desired to fight. The fighting spirit also exists in the Supreme Lord. Otherwise, how could fighting be manifested at all? There is something called fighting means because Lord wanted it is there. Otherwise, there is no question that the fighting will be there in the material world also. We say people are quarreling. But how did this fighting mentality come? It came from Supreme Lord only. Because the Lord is source of everything. Anger and fighting are also inherent in his personality. When he desires to fight with someone, he has to find an enemy. But in Vaikuntha world, there is no enemy because everything is engaged fully in his service. Therefore, he sometimes comes to the material world as a incarnation in order to manifest his fighting spirit. So this is the main reason. The spirit is there. He may do some fighting in Goloka with Sri Rama and all, but that is more unfriendly. But he really want to become angry and fight. So that is possible only in material world. So some things are not there in Vaikuntha. Because it is said that the Lord appears just to give protection to the devotees and enslave the non-devotees. Non-devotees are found in material world, not in the spiritual world. Therefore, when Lord wants to fight, he has to come to the material world. But now the question will be, but who will fight with the Supreme Lord? No one is able to fight with him. Therefore, because the Lord's pastime is in the material world always performed with his associates, not with others. So even his killing is also pastime. So who will do pastime? Lord's devotee only will do. He has to find some devotee who will play the part of enemy. In Bhagavad Gita, the Lord says to Arjuna, my dear Arjuna, both you and I have appeared many, many times in the world, but you have forgotten, whereas I remember. Lord's body don't change, that's why you don't forget. Our body changes, that's why we forget. Thus, Jaya and Vijay were selected by the Lord to fight with him in the material world, and that was the reason of the sages to come to see him. And accidentally, the doorkeepers were cursed. It was Lord's desire to send them to the material world too, not perpetually, but for some time. Therefore, just as on the theoretical stage, someone takes the part of enemy to the operator of the stage. Although the play is for a short time, there is no permanent enmity between the servant and the proprietor. So the Sura Janas, the devotees, were cursed by the sages to go to the Asura Jana or atheistic families, that a devotee should come into the atheistic family is surprising, but it is simply a show. After finishing their mock fighting, both the devotee and Lord are again associated in the spiritual planet. This is a very explicitly explained here. The conclusion is that no one falls from the spiritual world or Vaikuntha planet, for it is the eternal abode. But sometimes the Lord desires the devotees come into this material world as preachers or as atheists. In each case, we must understand that there is a plan of Lord. Lord Brahma, for example, was an incarnation, yet he preached atheism. There is no God. Sorry, Lord Buddha, he preached atheism. There is no God. But actually, there is a plan behind it. So, okay, we'll continue tomorrow. Thank you all very much. Any questions, comments? We'll end here. Grantara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai.